Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. We got a really fascinating video sent in for us to unpack today. It's by Prince Iya.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of his stuff before. He's got a really unique style.
Definitely, he's a motivational speaker, but he uses a lot of creative storytelling and imagery, which I think is really effective. And in this particular video, he's tackling the power of discouragement.
Discouragement. That's something I think we can all relate to.
Absolutely. I mean, we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
Those moments when you hit a wall or you face a setback and you start to question everything.
Totally. It's like that little voice in your head that whispers, what's the point?
Exactly. And it can be so hard to shake off. Sometimes it feels like discouragement has this almost magnetic pull on us.
It really does. It's like it can suck the energy and motivation right out of you.
And that's what I found so interesting about Prince Iya's take on this. He uses this really clever analogy to break it down. It's like the devil is having a fire sale.
Okay, a fire sale. I'm intrigued.
Right. So picture this, all of these negative emotions. Anger, resentment, hatred. They're all up for grabs, each with a price tag.
Oh, I can see where this is going. People are lining up to buy those bad boys.
Exactly. They're practically tripping over themselves to get their hands on them.
Yeah, because those emotions, they can feel pretty powerful in the moment.
But there's one tool the devil refuses to sell, no matter how much people offer. And that's discouragement.
Now that's interesting. You'd think he'd want to spread discouragement as much as possible. Why hold on to it?
Because it's his secret weapon. Prince Iya describes it as this sharp, dangerous tool that the devil relies on more than anything else to get what he wants.
So discouragement is like the ultimate tool of destruction.
Exactly. And to understand why it's so effective, Prince Iya takes us back to the word's roots.
Ooh, etymology. I love it.
Right. So discouragement comes from the French word cœur, meaning heart.
So it's like disheartenement.
Yeah, exactly. Discouragement literally means away from the heart.
Wow, I never thought of it that way.
It's powerful, isn't it? So when we're discouraged, we're actually being pulled away from what we truly care about.
That makes so much sense. I know when I feel discouraged, I kind of shut down, like I lose touch with that inner spark.
That's exactly it. And that's when we're most vulnerable to giving up on our dreams, our passions, the things that truly matter.
Yeah, you're not kidding. But does Prince Iya offer any hope? Does he give us any tools to combat this discouragement?
It does. And that's what's so great about his approach. He doesn't just leave us hanging in that discouraged state. He gives some really powerful examples of people who faced incredible discouragement, but didn't let it derail them.
Oh, I'd love to hear about those. Those kinds of stories always inspire me.
Well, he starts with the Wright brothers.
The Wright brothers? Like the airplane guys?
Very same. They had this incredible dream of flying, but their own father, a preacher, stood on stage and declared that man was not meant to fly.
Wow, their own father. That must have been tough.
Can you imagine? Your own father basically telling you your dream is impossible.
That must have been incredibly discouraging. Makes you wonder how many brilliant ideas have been crushed by those kinds of pronouncements.
Exactly. And that's what's so remarkable about the Wright brothers. They didn't let their father's doubts, or anyone else's for that matter, stop them. They persevered, they experimented, they failed countless times, but they never lost sight of their vision.
And eventually they changed the world. Pretty amazing when you think about it.
It's a powerful reminder that we can't let the doubts of others, even those closest to us, define what's possible for us.
Absolutely. And speaking of those who doubt, Prince Iya uses this really fascinating term to describe them, possibility blindness.
Oh yes, possibility blindness. It's like they can only see the present, the limitations, the obstacles. They can't imagine what might happen if someone dares to push past those boundaries, if they have the courage to believe in something that seems impossible.
Yeah, it's like they're trapped in this limited worldview. They can't see the forest for the trees.
Exactly. And it makes me think about all the incredible breakthroughs, the innovations, the art, the stories that we might be missing out on because someone allowed discouragement to cloud their vision.
It's a sobering thought, isn't it? But it also highlights the importance of nurturing that belief in ourselves, that conviction that we can achieve something meaningful even when others doubt us.
Absolutely. And, it's not just about ignoring the naysayers.
Yeah.
Prince Iya actually encourages us to use that negativity, that resistance, as fuel for growth. He uses this really powerful image of building a mansion with the very bricks that were thrown at you.
Whoa, that's a powerful visual. I love that.
It's about taking those experiences that were meant to break us down and using them to create something strong, something beautiful, something uniquely our own.
It reminds me of the Japanese art of kintsugi, where they repair broken pottery with gold.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Instead of trying to hide the cracks, they embrace them. They highlight them, and in doing so, they create something even more beautiful and valuable.
That's a beautiful analogy. And it speaks to the resilience of the human spirit. We have this incredible capacity to not just bounce back from adversity, but to actually grow stronger because of it.
It's like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Exactly. But with a more proactive spin, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.
I like that. Not just surviving, but actually using those bricks to build something amazing.
And that building process, that's where I think the idea of purpose becomes so important. Because when we have a clear sense of why we're doing something, why we're striving, why we're pushing through those moments of doubt and discouragement, it gives us the strength to keep going.
I totally agree. Purpose is like the foundation of that mansion we're building. Without it, everything else crumbles. But, while having a clear sense of purpose can be incredibly motivating, I've also found that sometimes when you're feeling really discouraged, it can feel kind of overwhelming.
How sad.
But it's like you get so caught up in the big picture, Like, how do I possibly achieve this grand vision when I can barely get out of bed?
I hear you. It's like we can get so focused on the end goal that we lose sight of the smaller steps, the daily actions that are necessary to make progress.
Exactly. And that's where I think focusing on small wins, on building self-efficacy, can be really helpful. Because each small victory, each obstacle overcome, gives us a little boost of confidence, a little reminder that we are capable, that we can make things happen.
That's so true. It's like those small wins create a positive feedback loop. Each one fuels our motivation, our belief in ourselves, and makes it easier to tackle the next challenge.
Totally. And Prince Iya also uses a really clever analogy to illustrate how those setbacks, those moments when we feel pulled back, can actually be essential for growth. He compares it to an arrow being pulled back in a bow.
Ah, yes, the arrow analogy.
Yeah.
So simple yet so profound. You can't launch an arrow forward without first pulling it back.
Exactly. And sometimes those moments when we feel pulled back, those challenges, those setbacks, they're actually gathering the momentum we need to propel us forward.
They're giving us the strength, the resilience, the wisdom to achieve something truly remarkable.
Right. And it's not always comfortable. It can be painful, even. But it's necessary.
And sometimes that pulling back comes in the form of discouragement. It can be a signal that we need to reassess, to adjust our course, to maybe even let go of something that's no longer serving us.
That's such a good point. It's like discouragement can be a messenger, trying to get our attention, trying to redirect us toward a path that's more aligned with our true selves.
It's about listening to that inner voice, that intuition that's telling us something needs to change, and then having the courage to make those changes, even if it means stepping outside of our comfort zone.
And speaking of stepping outside of our comfort zone, what else can help when we're feeling discouraged? Connection. Reaching out to others, sharing our struggles, our dreams, our aspirations.
Oh, absolutely. We're not meant to do this alone. Having a supportive community, people who believe in us, who encourage us, who can offer a different perspective that can make all the difference.
It's like having a team of cheerleaders in your corner reminding you of your strength, your potential, when you've forgotten it yourself.
Exactly. And sometimes those cheerleaders come from the most unexpected places. Like, remember the Wright brothers? Their father was their biggest doubter, but they had each other. That brotherly bond, that shared vision, that unwavering support that helped them push through.
Such a great example of how, even in the face of intense discouragement, the right kind of support can make all the difference.
So if you're feeling discouraged right now, know that you're not alone. We all face those moments of doubt, those times when we question ourselves, our abilities, our worth. But it's important to remember that discouragement doesn't have to be a dead end. It can actually be a turning point.
Oh, I like that.
Like a catalyst for growth and transformation.
Yeah.
It's all about how we choose to respond to it.
So true. We have the power to decide how we let it affect us.
Exactly. We can either let it consume us, or we can use it as fuel to propel us forward.
It's not always easy, though.
You're right, it takes conscious effort.
But it is a choice we have.
It's like we have this inner compass.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
And discouragement can sometimes knock us off course. But we have the power to reorient ourselves.
To get back on track.
Exactly. To reconnect with our true north and keep moving in the direction of our dreams.
It's like we all have this internal guidance system that's always there, even when we feel lost or discouraged.
We just have to learn to tune into it.
And trust it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes tuning into that inner compass means shifting our perspective.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing those obstacles as roadblocks, what if we saw them as stepping stones?
Whoa, that's a powerful reframing.
Right.
Instead of letting those challenges defeat us, we can use them to gain a higher vantage point.
To learn some valuable lessons.
And to emerge even stronger and more resilient.
It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but with a more proactive spin.
I like that. Not just surviving, but actually using those bricks to build something amazing.
In that building process,
Yeah.
that's where our purpose comes in.
Right, because if we don't have that clear sense of why we're doing something, why we're pushing through the discouragement, it's so much easier to just give up.
Exactly. Purpose is like the mortar that holds those bricks together. Without it, the mansion crumbles. So how do we find that purpose? That driving force that keeps us going even when things get tough.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is.
And I don't think there's one easy answer.
No, definitely not. It's a journey.
It looks different for everyone.
But I do think there are some common threads.
Like what?
Well, self-reflection is key.
Absolutely. Taking the time to really understand our values, our passions, what brings us joy, those are all clues.
Right. And it's not always a lightning bolt moment.
No, sometimes it's a slow burn.
It's about trying different things, experimenting, and seeing what resonates.
Exactly. Being open to new experiences and allowing ourselves to evolve.
And don't forget the power of connection. Talking to people who inspire us, seeking out mentors, surrounding ourselves with a supportive community that can make a huge difference.
You're so right. We're not meant to do this alone.
Sharing our struggles, our dreams, our aspirations with others can give us that extra boost we need to overcome discouragement.
It's like having a team of cheerleaders in your corner reminding you of your strength and your potential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes those cheerleaders come from unexpected places.
Oh, totally. Like in the story of the Wright brothers, their biggest doubter was their own father, but they also had each other. That brotherly bond, that shared vision that helped them push through.
It just goes to show you that even in the face of intense discouragement, the right kind of support can make all the difference.
So if you're feeling discouraged right now, just remember,
You're not alone.
we've all been there.
We all face those moments of doubt and uncertainty, but remember, those moments don't define us.
They're just part of the journey.
And we have the power to choose how we respond to them.
We can let discouragement derail us.
Or we can use it as fuel.
To learn and grow and to create something truly extraordinary.
It's about remembering that we are capable of so much more than we often give ourselves credit for.
It really is.
It's about reconnecting with our hearts, with our passions, with that inner spark that makes us come alive.
And having the courage to believe in ourselves even when others doubt us.
To keep moving forward, even when the path ahead feels uncertain.
You got this.
So think about something you're passionate about, something that lights you up inside.
That thing that makes you feel truly alive.
What obstacles were holding you back?
What are those bricks that are being thrown at you?
How can you reframe those as opportunities for growth? How can you use those bricks to build your own mansion?
Because you are the architect of your own life.
You have the power to create something truly beautiful and meaningful.
Don't let discouragement steal your dreams.
This has been such an inspiring deep dive into the power of discouragement. I'm so glad we had a chance to unpack this video together.
Me too. It's given us a lot to think about.
Prince Zia's message is a powerful reminder that we all have the potential for greatness.
Even when we face challenges and setbacks.
And that the journey with all its twists and turns
Is just as important as the destination.
So keep exploring, keep growing, and keep building those mansions.
One brick at a time.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.